lot of work. Man, it's a lot of work, man.
I mean, that guy was so skilled. I mean, and plus, so many of their plays went to him. He had the ball all the time. And, so yeah.
When you were competing with these guys, I mean, you had Unsell, you had some physical, some physical guys.
The center position was different then. The ball went through the center an awful lot before the three-point play. Everybody could handle the ball. You had Lanier, you had Reed, you had Thurman, you had Chamberlain, Walton, and Bellamy, and Rule, and the league goes on and on and on. A lot of Hall of Fame centers in there. Darryl, I mean, then you had Billy Paultz. You had guys that could play you didn't know about. Jerry Lucas. I mean, just a whole. It just goes on and on and on. And but they could all play the whole game. You look at their stats; they were good offensive rebound. They had players like Clifford Ray and Johnson that played. Yeah, Elvin Hayes. I mean, they were all guys. They were all different, but they all could score, and they liked to shoot. And they could all rebound. And they were all tough and smart, and they could handle the basketball. So it was, there weren't too many off nights.
Right.
Really, there weren't too many.
Back in those days, they actually had a center on the All-Star ballot.
Right, exactly. It's crazy.
Yeah.
By the way,
they took the center on
Tim
the
Duncan
All-Star
was
ballot.
center. I don't care what anybody said. He ain't no damn power forward. He just got on there for the All-Star team because David Robinson was on there at the same time. Tim Duncan is a prototype center. He's not a power forward, in my opinion.
All you guys up there, who were the toughest? We had that question. Who were the toughest defenders that you had to face?
George Gervin.
I had more trouble with Bob and Lanier, offense and defense. Bob was a left-handed hook shot, jump shot. And if you got behind him, he could push a button and make his ass get bigger. Stay back there. And he could hook you and say, just stay right back there. And yeah, everybody had trouble with Kareem, but Bob said, I don't want you to let Kareem get to that box. I said, well, that's where he goes. He said, that's his spot. And Bob used to have a Winston. He said, you see his name on that damn box. 3 or 4 weeks later, we run down the floor, we playing in LA, and I jump on the box and Kareem come down and say, hey, move. He said, I gotta go to the box. He said, gotta get to the box. He said, Bob told me this wasn't your box. He said, damn, Bob. And after that, I could bang Kareem up a little bit. I had more trouble with Bob. I didn't know which way Bob was looking. Bob had like a lazy eye, you get in front of him. I was the first person he drove on in 5 or 6 years, all the way to the basket and dunked. I was like, and niggas said, damn, like, damn. I'm actually dribbling on anybody, because I don't even know which way you're looking. And he said, Bob is left-handed. And I tell Bob that today, I said, Bob, I have more trouble with you than anybody. But hey, as you get older,
He's an offensive guy. He was asking who gave you the most trouble.
Bob.
That's guarding you.
Bob, offense and defense, I said first.
Right. When you're
I
talking,
had trouble with Bob, offense and defense.
he, like Bob, he and I probably, we and George, we have problems with anybody we guard.
Hey, I got paid to score. I don't give a shit. I got paid to
I
score.
agree with you.
I don't give a
Everybody's
shit.
got a role to play.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to score.
I took, my thing is that it would be ludicrous for me to say that you can go out, and when I hear this thing, he's a lockdown defender, I laugh my ass off at that. There's no such thing as a lockdown defender, because the greatest defensive player will never stop the greatest offensive player.
Thank
It doesn't
you.
happen. But the bottom line, and I agree with these guys, if I go out and I get 35 and the guy I'm guarding gets 30 and he's a great player, we're 5 points to the head. If all my guys did that, we're winning every freaking game. I mean, that's what it really comes down to. But my thing was from the team defensive standpoint. I study guys and I try to make a guy beat me with, knowing that he's going to beat me, but he's going to have to beat me with what he doesn't do well. So I used to love to play Julius. Because I think in a half court, Julius is very guardable. But you get this shit.
Transition, that's his
Forget it.
strength.
And so, but if you study him, you make a guy beat you with his weakness. And
Yeah,
I
he
took
wasn't a
great
great
pride
jump
in my
shooter.
team defense.
He wasn't a great jump shooter, though.
No, and I always would force him out and back off. But what you do is you try to play team defense because that's what wins champions. Individual defense will win. You know, you ask anybody. I mean, I asked Jack Ramsey talking. I'll give you 12 great individual defenders and 12 great team defenders. Which 12 do you want to take? Dave, you coached. Aren't you going to take the 12 great team defenders? Why? Because the great individual defenders are going to get beaten. And if there's no team defenders, they're getting all kinds of easy baskets the whole game. But with the great team defenders, you don't give up easy baskets because everybody's there to help one another. It's about team defense. If you get a great individual defender who knows how to play team defense, now you got a real bonus working for you because he makes it hard on the other guys, and he's also playing the team defense. So I took that to heart. But as far as the toughest guy, the most committed guy was E.C. Coleman. And EC was, I mean, it was to the point where it was stupid. If I'm here and I have the ball, and I got the ball, and EC's guarding me, George, and I throw the ball to George is getting a freaking wide open shot. Because EC is not leaving me. I mean, which is not great team defense. I mean, so George, I mean, if I pass the ball, he's not leaving me. In fact, one time in the dome when he was with the Jazz, so we're walking the tall timeout, we're going to the huddle, and EC, you can't come to the freaking huddle. He's following me to the freaking huddle. That's how committed he was. He was so committed to playing defense. So, but I think like you, Alex, like you, every time you went to the court, I think it made it easier for us. We knew we were going to have the best defender regardless. Same with you. You know you're going to have to be ready to play.
Yeah,
Because
the whole
otherwise you get
team.
hurt.
They set the team
I know,
defense
I know,
up to
but you know that every night you're going to also have the best defender on you.
You know?
I mean, when I used to guard ice used to coach from the left. I know he couldn't really go here.
You know what?
Nah, but I got 20 going left, 30 going right. Now what the hell they talking about?
We still had guys in the league that if you got beat, they was not going to come over and help you because they get in foul trouble helping you, and they sitting on the bench, and you still playing. So it really didn't matter to us. We were just out there, and you had to try to help everybody and try to stay in the game too. It wasn't going to happen for
See,
somebody.
the difference in the game from when I played and when these guys played is there was a philosophy that was different. In our day, you wanted to have a great center. Everybody funneled stuff to the big guys. That's why they had all these block shots because it was all sent it to the big guys and let the big guys block their shots. Then later on, the whole philosophy was never let them get to the basket. Team defense, stop, shut it down. You don't want them getting to the basket. You don't want them getting to your big guys. In fact, the best thing, you don't want a center having 5, 6, 7 block shots a game unless he's blocking his own man shots because that means that you're a porous defense. Guys are getting to the basket. So it was a total different philosophy back when we played because we had some of the greatest big guys, you know, Russell, Chamberlain, Bellamy, you mentioned, you know, Thurman, and all those guys. And Lanier, the deal was you force them to the big guy. That totally changed.
That's overrated anyway, man. That old damn defense y'all be talking about. That shit is so overrated. Overrated. I mean, cause you look, you know, I mean, they talk about me and my defense. I mean, Matthew couldn't guard nobody. He ain't guarded nobody yet. You know, Bird wasn't no damn defensive. No, that's for sure. You know what I mean? Them guys, you know, Doc overplayed you. Doc wasn't nobody that just stop you like that. You know, I mean, so when people start talking about, man, he couldn't play no, it's the team defense that wins championship. Them guys that stop you when it's time to stop you is the guys that probably win the most. That would make San Antonio so good. San Antonio stop you when it's time. You know, I mean, that would make them guys, you know, successful. I mean, all the real championship teams, man, they may have had somebody that can guard, you know, somebody pretty good one-on-one. But in order for them to win, they know how to do it as a team, man. I was a great team defensive player.
That's why you got those block shots on the weak side.
Yeah, right.
But it's so overrated. I'll give you an example. Like my son in college is playing. And this coach is so hung up on defense, right? They were one of the top 15 in defense. You know, it's such bullshit. But here's the statistics. So they had a shit season, okay? Very consistent losing season. They played 10 games. In 10 games, they scored over 70 points 10 times. They were 7-3 in those games. should have been 8-2. They blew a game at the end. So doesn't that tell you a little something that they play more up tempo and they score more freaking points, that they actually have a better winning percentage? So I don't give a shit. If I'm playing and my team gave up 80, 90 points and we're winning games and we're getting 85 or 90, I don't care. And it's all about winning. So what great is the defense if you're playing great defense and you're still losing games? If your team, when they play offensively, you win more.
Yeah, but normally if you playing pretty good defense, you don't win games.
Not necessarily.
I mean, when I coach,
You gotta have somebody.
you gotta be able to
You
stop
gotta
somebody.
play, no, you have to play defense.
Yeah, you
but
gotta
not-
play defense.
I'm talking about not to the extent of making your offense play slow down.
No.
Play tough defense, but shit, play offensively, aggressively. With the athletes today, to play slow down basketball is stupid. It's just stupid to take slow down. You gotta play up tempo. These guys are too good. They can do things in an open court situation. You can't teach them as a coach. They're gonna do amazing things. Just trying to make smart decisions. But I'm saying
Yeah,
my
but-
son's team, when they played up tempo, they were 7-3 in 10 games. They were a better team when they played up tempo instead of playing that slow down, walk the ball up the court.
Ugh, that's ugly ball.
What,
We
Kind of
got,
like y'all was playing today. Ugly ball.
what's your opinion of that Paul Westphal style where they were, was it not Paul, Westhead, running up and down the court and trying to,
Oh, did the same thing. in Denver.
I played with
He
Doug.
played with Doug. And he
We
done
did it
well.
better.
Right.
Yeah.
We beat a lot of we beat a lot of teams.
It's great. It's great. That I would want to play that style. Dave would probably, the way he used to run the court, play the up tempo. The Celtics did it. But the difference is that his team didn't play good defense. You still have to play good team defense.
Yeah.
Because
We
good team
got our more
defense
shots than
generates
everybody
more
else.
opportunities
We
to
played good
run.
We played great defense, man. I won
We
a couple
played the league in
championships.
steals.
That ain't no good defense. You just gambling all the time.
No, we had great defenders. T.R. Dunn, Elson
Yeah, I got my career high on TR.
T.R. Dunn.
Yeah.
T.R. Dunn was one of the best.
And Elson
Good.
Turner. Pat Lee.
Elton Turner.
Wayne Cooper used to block shots.
I got 40 on both of them. It was hard. Man.
But it wasn't that easy.
Wasn't that easy?
You know, but isn't that the difference? The difference is people say defense, and well, he didn't do a good job. Hey, if he gets his 35 and he has to take 5 more shots to get the normal 35 that he gets, that defender did a good job.
Right.
You know he scored the points.
Right.
It's not the point total. How many shots did he have to take and work hard to get those points?
I averaged 18 shots a game. I ain't shoot a lot. I just was effective.
I averaged less than that.
his coach.
18 shots a game, man. I have 18
Nobody's taking no 20 shots.
Stand up.
Somebody taking on 30 shots, man.
Well,
Kobe,
Rick, you did?
Kobe shoot 30 times and get 30 points.
No, but you know who's worse than that? Carmelo Anthony. Oh, he's a ball star. He just kills me.
They're great athletes, man. To be able to get up to the shot.
I average 14 shots a game in my career.
Yeah, well, I was 18, man. I mean, average 26.
I mean, you got to make them, Rick. Hey, okay, we got about 5 minutes. I have one question for all of the legends. High school, college, or pro. It can only be one. Your favorite coach of all time. You can only name one. High school, college, or pro. So your favorite coach, period.
Mine,
During your career. Hubie Brown.
Larry Brown, my favorite. Hubie Brown was a fucked up one. Larry Brown was the best.
Well, Sugar, since you said that before everybody else answers, I want you to give them that Hubie Brown story in New York.
Well, it was my fourth year in the league, and we had just got rid of Red Holzman, and we brought in Hubie Brown. So we had a meeting. So Hubie Brown came in. He says, "Listen, guys. Whenever I get tired, I got this bad eye, so it just wanders, right? When I get tired." So then he goes around. We had Bill Cartwright, Campy Russell, me. So he goes into to Bill Cartwright. He goes, "They call you Mr. Bill, but I'm calling you Miss Bill." Then he goes to Campy Russell, tells Campy Russell, you are a pretty good small forward, but all you do is shoot jump shots. Comes to me, Sugar, on every team there's an asshole, and that's you. Then he goes to the next guy, Ray Williams. Then I raise my hands, wait a minute, people. On this team, there's two assholes, you and me. And the next day, he traded me. True story.
Broke up that daddy. Yeah, them two been ready. I was a tough son of a gun.
No, it was safe to say he was an asshole.
Last year we all played for stand-up back. was my favorite. I love Chuck Daly. My stand-up back was the guy that pretty much said, no middle, and he made Sugar so mad one night. He said, Darryl, every time you run down the floor, and you can get down there before people, they gotta throw you the ball. And I started running like a madman. I was getting live. And I got down the floor and Sugar would not give it to me. And Stan took about the game and Sugar went off on it. And then it came to me, Mother, you don't never run like that, son of a bitch. He kept me sitting over here. I was like, and Stan just said, well, you got to keep running. And he made the game fun for me again. And I started running and enjoying it.
Doug moment, man. You know, Doug let us play. You know, we didn't all have to practice. You know, Doug was just a fun coach, man. I mean, you know, our whole goal was to get up 50 shots more than you. That was our defense. You know,
That was right your alley.
y'all right on my alley. You know what I mean? And it was fun. So, you know, Doug was my favorite. You know what I mean? He just above Stan. You know, it was between Stan and Doug, but Doug was my favorite.
Well, I love playing for Louis Kern the second 1 year I had and Al Adams, but my favorite coach because the way he prepared me was my college coach.
Dave?
I didn't have one. I didn't like any of them.
Did you play for Hugh Durham? You didn't like Hugh Durham?
But you didn't like Ray?
I mean, I've respected the hell
didn't
out
play
of
for
him.
Red?
I can't say anybody was a favorite.
Did you play for Red?
No, Red was
Did you play for Bill?
Fitch, didn't you?
Yeah.
Dave, you played for Fitch?
Well, I can see why you know.
Who's yours, though?
Bill Fitch. Worst coach you can have if you're a young kid, I'll tell you that.
Cotton Fitzsimmons.
Cotton Fitzsimmons.
Because he was a great basketball coach, but more so off of the court.
Oh, he was fun.
He was fun. We were like a family. We were like a family off the court.
You almost didn't want the day off because you ran it up the next day.
Yeah, but he
But Larry Brown was worse than that to us.
I like Larry.
definitely wasn't Larry.
Yeah, but we had to get us the day off and kill it.
I
And,
didn't put up with it.
pretty much for the same reason. Doug was one of those guys that just let you play. We practiced, but it wasn't no long, drawn-out practice. You came in, you got your work done, you were out of there. It wasn't all day in the gym.
You didn't have 4 or 5 hours practice?
No. We practiced. If we went in the gym and got the work done, we were out of there. And if you didn't do what you were supposed to do, you might keep you longer. But it was always quick. It was, he was always fair. And he'd scream and go off and be crazy during the game, but after the game was over, he's like one of the guys.
You know, he still live in San Antonio.
I know he does.
Speak up, David.
I watched that when you were going against Washington championship. You were killing it. And Weird was right all over the place. Is that a weird decision or was that a coach decision?
Well, those guys were so overconfident they were willing to give up the home court the way they played the first game there, and they get back to our place and get conflicts with your region. And I think that's one of the reasons we upset them and swept them. But the whole big thing is they're talking about we can't beat them because we can guard them. And I looked at that and I said, what do they have? They freaking mind. I mean, first of all, we beat them in one game. We could have beat them in 2 during the regular season. And one game I had a bad shooting game. Another bad shooting game sometimes. Certainly wasn't weird for defense that did it. Another game I probably shouldn't have played because I was hurt. So they're saying Rudy can guard me. I said, well, how the hell is he going to guard me? He's shorter than I am. I'm quicker than he is. And so what happened is they got so frustrated in game 4 is what happened. So I know at the opening tip, Reardon hits me with an elbow on the tip. So I knew what it was. They were trying to get me baited into going into a fight with her. And he was just doing all kinds of shit to me. And I just wouldn't go for it. And then he drove over my back when I drove by him. I wanted Al Adams came out in the court. And he was lucky Al didn't get to him, actually. And so he didn't get thrown out of the game. He would have been thrown out of the game in today's game. What he
That was insane.
yeah, but it was their plan to try to get me. They figured, if they get me thrown out and Reardon thrown out, they're coming out ahead of the game. So I mean, but I was aware of that, and I wasn't going to say anything to it.
Hey, Rick, that series, you guys won 1-1, 1-1, 1.
No, we went 1, one at their place,
Right.
2 at our place,
Two.
then back to their place.
Oh, okay.
And usually it's 2 there. And so we
Yeah,
won that
yeah.
first game. Now all of a sudden they had to come to our place. Then we go in a really close game. We beat them in game number 2. And then we beat them in game number 3. So now they're totally panicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean they were so confident that they said, no, that's okay. We'll play the one game here and then go back and play there. They weren't even worried about whether they could beat us.
Was that the year y'all won it?
That's the year we swept them. Yeah, we swept them. They were supposed to sweep us. They said it was one of the biggest mismatches in NBA history finals. Because they were supposed to beat us, no problem.
75.
That's when they knocked off, the Celtics. They were supposed to. Yeah.
75?
75. That was a great series.
That year you had Clifford and
George were tandem centers. I mean,
Jamal.
we got as much out of our 2 centers back to back. We had Clifford, physical, active, how he played, and then George finesse, blocking shots. I remember
George Johnson?
George Johnson.
Yeah, I played with George.
I played with George too.
He got blocking so good.
Well, we had 12 fouls to use. We could play physical, we could play finesse. They were just, guys
You
that we
had
didn't
one
worry
of the
about.
best, I'd say defending it, you had one of the best pick and roll scenarios going.
Well,
You using the pick, and those guys picking and rolling. You had to respect both. And you were so tall, you could shoot over the top, or you could put it down, you could bust the pick and rolls. It was a bitch to guard that pick and
Well,
roll.
the pick and roll play of Ron Crockley, I think, is the most, it's indefensible if you know what you're doing. And I watched the game today. There's not a team in the NBA that runs
Every
the
team
pick and
runs
roll
it.
effectively. Not one team
They
in
all
the
run it.
entire league that runs it effectively. That gets everything's off the dribble, the screens come at angles. I'm telling you, if I had the ball on the wing and my guy came from the top of the key to set a screen for me, I would tell him to get lost. Because why do I want to go to half court? Shit, I want into your gut. We're going to put heat on you. Coming from the baseline, I'm going to get into it. And then my first dribble is the productive dribble. And if you're back off my man, I'm going to set my guy up in such a way that I'm going to get a jump shot any time. If you're not, and then if you're playing up and you cheat, I would just have a signal with Clifford. Just do this.
It all revolved around the fact that you could shoot.
Yeah.
And you were tall, and you could shoot over the top.
But also make the passes.
Makes you overcommit, and then it opens up that roll, man, and then you're screwed.
Yeah. There's no way you can play it because if you cheat enough, I signal the guy, we slip it. How many times you watch an NBA game, you see guys slipping the screen? You never even read it.
Another good pick and roll team was when they had Pete Maravich and Walt Bellamy and that crew. Those guys could wear your ass out on that one.
All right, guys, appreciate it. Hold on, we gotta get a quick picture with this gentleman with the cap on here.